Hello everyone, I'm Franek, Frakom on MTG Online, and I decided to start this channel after I reached Modern Challenge Finals on 25th of December 2021 with the Red-White Prowess deck you can see on your screen. And I will go through all of my games, talk about my decisions, talk about how I play and like maybe correct my mistakes, which I think were quite a few of them. But before I move to the games, I want to talk a bit about the deck. I put this deck in 4 sections: lands, creatures, draw spells, and removal spells. The lands are pretty easy. We have 4 inspiring advantages. We have to play the plateaus. Sunbay Canyons, also pretty good. Like, this is something between draw spells and lands. We have 5 fetch lands, 3 sacred foundries, and also 3 snow-covered mountains. I think if you want to play the Ragavan deck, playing snow basics have more upsides than downsides. Like, upsides are on thin ice, Iceland Cattle, and downside are pretty small, and I think only cards that are not really played in Modern are using it. We have 16 creatures. We have 8 prowess creatures, the obvious ones. Also, we have 8 OPs from Modern Horizons 2. Dragon's Rage Channeler, which is a pretty great beater, but also pretty good at giving you a lot of value from all of your spells. Have to play 4 copies of it. Also Ragavan, our friendly monkey, is well known. And I think you also have to play 4 copies of it because it's much better than other alternatives, like any other that were played before it. It not only beats, it steals cards, but also it gives you pretty valuable mana, which you are using all of your mana most of the time. Then we have draw spells. We have 4 Mishra's Bubble that are working pretty well with Dragon's Rage Channeler, with fetch lands, but also with prowess creatures, just to give them +1/+1. And also we have 8 divinations, 4 light ups, 4 reckless impulses. I don't know if playing 8 of them is the best option. I think like I want to cut maybe 1, but about it I will talk about in wrap-up section. But the thing I want to talk about is Reckless Impulse, because it's a new card. Not a lot of people played it already, but this is a heck of a card. Like, I think in this deck it's better than Light Up the Stage, because you can play it on your first main phase, not on the second main phase like you play most light ups, because you need to deal damage first, and casting burn spells on the first main phase is often pretty bad. We have removal spells, 8 obvious ones, bolts and darts. Dart is still pretty strong in Modern, but it didn't have home for last few months. But maybe this is the deck that can still make it shine. In Modern, we have 5 wide drop removal spells, Prismatic Ending, which is pretty strong, even though it can be played mostly for only 2 colors. But having something that deals with cheap creatures which are pretty big, like for example Death's Shadow, is pretty strong. It's also a good main deck answer for Chalice of the Void. And we are rounding up the main deck with Path to Exile, which is like pretty classic 1-drop removal spell. It can be used against a lot of different creatures, but its main purpose is to deal with Murktide Regent, which is really hard to beat otherwise. In the sideboard we have like 3 extra white removal spells to round like 5 copies in the main, 3 copies in the sideboards. We have full 8 against decks we really need it. We have Alpine Moons for the Tron deck, but also for all Urza's Saga decks, because Urza's Saga can be tough to beat, because we are often not that fast of a deck. We are sometimes playing the mid-range role. We have Werther for also for Hammer matchup, but against like Chalice of the Void, also against all of those random artifacts and enchantments that you can play against in Modern. We have 3 copies of Graveyard Hate. Soulguard Lantern is especially pretty good, I think, because it's plays around Leyline of Sanctity, because it exiles each opponent's graveyard. Relic of Progenitus, it's much better against like mid-range strategies, because it can like slowly chip their graveyard and also draw a card in process. We have Core Firewalkers, mostly for burn, mostly for mirror, but also against all decks that play red removal spells and have hard times dealing with it. Also, Core Firewalker is a great blocker for Ragavan. And also we have Deflecting Palm for random stuff like Belcher, but mostly for Hammer. And we are rounding up our deck with the Lures of the Dream Den, one of the most powerful cards in Modern. I think not a lot to say about it. And this is about it for the deck. I think we can safely move to the games, and in between I will talk about more about the cards in the deck.